Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and today I'll be looking at the promotional items from Philly BrickFest 2019. Now, unlike 2018, where there was only one based on the theme of superheroes, this year there were 4 of them released, and one for each exhibitor package, based around classic movies. So I only have 2 of them here to talk about on this video. I have Yellow Brick Road, which came in my package of 139 pieces. I received Bricking in the Rain from Bricks O'Brien from 112 Lego pieces. And there are 2 other ones that are known as Raiders of the Lost Brick, aka based on Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, and one based on King Kong that is known as Brick Kong. So these are all done as a vignette of different movies, usually in the classic era of film, and have some reminiscent of BrickBot, the mascot of Philly BrickFest, in some way, like in some costume. So each of these packages, like I said, is included with each exhibitor bag, with a whole bunch of other swag, which I talked about not too long ago on a live stream. I say not too long ago, but it feels like it was a few weeks ago now. So each of these had a few small Ziploc bags to hold all the pieces in them. These are actually pretty well done. I mean, they're actually better material, even more glossy, than most Ziploc bags that I've come in contact with. They hold together very well and very well organized of small pieces in one and large pieces in the other. This is once again done by Constructables LLC, which makes some really nice models and have some really nice instructions. Very comprehensive, more than one step on each page, so it's fast to go through. It only took me 15 minutes to build the Bricking in the Rain, and then 10 minutes to build Yellow Brick Road. And there are some interesting building techniques to go into each of these as well, and some nice styles if you wanted to change this up for other purposes. I will say though, on my copy of Bricking in the Rain, I find it interesting that there was kind of a flip of colors in some of the early steps. You have this almost olive green color for what should be a dark bluish gray plate there. Some of the dark bluish gray looks like black. Some of the light bluish gray looks like dark bluish gray. But that's a kind of a printing thing that I've expected from Lego as well. So I don't really fault Constructables that much more for the same kind of mistake. It's just how the ink is going to print, and I was still able to follow it very well. So taking a look at both of the models, they look pretty good. And they're almost just enough to fit next to each other. Maybe not in this orientation. If I flip it around like this or so, then you could have them side by side. Maybe if you had all 4 of them, it would make a nice little display of film history. Not necessarily in chronological order, but they are made on the same basis of 2 6x8 plates that are attached together to make a 8 by 12 base total. And we're going to start things off with Bricking in the Rain. This is based off of a classic movie that I've seen countless times as a kid, Singing in the Rain. I watched this a lot when I was babysat with my grandpa because he would always enjoy this movie. He would have this on very frequently when we were over, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I can't remember all the details about it now, but I do remember it being bright, colorful, and very musical, which is not a bad thing. So they have an iconic scene of Singing in the Rain, hence the title of the movie, illustrated here in Lego form. What's nice about this is BrickBot fits very well with the suit and the top hat that the character has in the movie. I like that he has his own parasol with him as well. And there's actually a nice design behind it for the door. Now, the door doesn't actually open, and there is a bit of a facade effect to the back of this where it's not really meant to be used as a whole model or open or anything like that. You could even argue that the windowsill is way off, but that's more just for the building techniques to make it look good on the front. And you could also argue, well, this is based on a movie, and therefore they had to make a studio, so this could be like the back lot. This would be the, behind the scenes of the studio. So, you take it as you will. As it is, it's a really nice model, and I like all the pieces that are used in here. A lot of nougat that's used, some dark tan elements. Really nice to have all those available. Nice parts, and some nice building techniques, as I mentioned before. Mostly to do with that archway above the door. If I just move his head off for a second, you can see that they use some 1x1 plates to make this archway effect over the door, which is nice. It adds it very well with the rest of the brick wall. Also, the effect here of adding the head on here, very simple, but works very well. Also, gives it some expression. These figures are very nicely posable for mini BrickBot, and could easily be moved around in any way you like. I will say that it's also kind of nice how they actually clip him onto there to make it look like he's hanging from the lamppost. There is one caveat though. I don't know if this is with every copy or just the one copy that I have here, but the glass piece on top is very easy to remove. These are all genuine Lego pieces, but the connection here is not really enough to hold it on top, so I have had this thing knock over once or twice before starting the video. Otherwise, this is a really nice model in a classic era. Not really something minifigure scaled, I would say. I mean, if you put minifigures next to it, it might look okay for 1 or 2 photos, but I still think it looks good as is. Next up, we have the Yellow Brick Road, which has a lot of vibrant colors going on with it, as it was the first, one of the first, somewhere early for color films. So I like how a lot of it is expressed in the Lego model as well. We're going to start things off with the Yellow Brick Road itself, which is nicely made out of tiles, illustrating that, you know, there's some cropping to the sides of it, but it does continue with almost the same pattern across it. You have a lot of foliage behind Dorothy, which is actually pretty well done to, you know, have some place for the house to land on. I did have 1 or 2 problems with the instructions. I just didn't follow it properly where the cheese slopes were supposed to go in 2 spots. But I fixed that really easily before the model was finished. Then you have Dorothy herself, again, a brick bot, you know, in costume as Dorothy, which you can have the arms move around a bit. You got the legs that can move as well. Obviously, you can take these figures off of the stands as well. Not as much posability as the Bricking in the Rain one, because the arms only go so far before they snap off, but it's still enough that you could get something in their hands and move them around. I'm surprised they didn't include a basket with this, because that might have worked. I do like, though, how they did the hair. That's actually a nice idea of using the spine pieces as far back as Bionicle to illustrate that. And very nicely done for the rest of the dress. Then we have the house itself, which you can see is on a tilt because it's held up by a hinge. And if I move that hinge out of the way, you can also see how the legs are done to make the witch's feet and the slippers. This is actually a nice idea where you have an early brick attached to a bar piece. I believe it's 4 long, and then it has a whole bunch of 1x1 studs that are with holes in them so that it creates those kinds of socks. Then you have these Bionicle eyepieces that are used on the ends to make it look like slippers. Very nicely done for the scene. So there we have everything about both of these in almost the same time as the last one, which I probably should bring that in for comparison. So, comparing the brick bots between them, like I said in the previous video, one of them does have a little bit different look to his arms and hands, because I figured he was just a superhero and therefore would be a little more stronger than our other brick bot companions. But I think they still work very well next to each other. They're at the same length across, so if I just move these around, I should be able to get it where you can just have them all on a nice shelf display together. Yeah, the car's going to fall over, but no problem there, because you can now see how they all look side by side. You could obviously move the eyes around if you want to get a little more expression out of them. The head tilts, like I showed before on the Bricking in the Rain. I think this is good. I really like that this is a series, that this is something they're continuing from year to year. I don't remember if 2018 was the first year for it, but I think 2017 had a just large version of BrickBot built in. That was cool, and I did review that, but I do like this miniature vignette kind of series as well. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below how you enjoyed Philly BrickFest 2019, whether you attended or you just visited for the day, if you were an exhibitor for the whole time like me, or if you just enjoyed seeing other people's videos about it. I'm still watching videos, and it's like 2 weeks later that I'm still catching up with how everyone was doing the event. I'm still doing my own videos for it, so expect those sometime soon. We'll see you next time with more LEGO videos.